everyone, this is Lomi. Ooh, it's thundery here. A couple months ago I ordered an assorted pack of generic doll shoes off eBay because I was told shoes for a Kelly doll would fit Lillibelle, my PukiPuki. Here's what I got. The pack was supposed to be assorted, but this hardly counts. It's also 20 shoes instead of 20 pairs, but the seller is sending me the rest to make up for it. And here's the problem. They look like the right size, but they definitely don't fit Lillibelle. I don't want to force her feet in, or they'll get stuck and never come out. So instead, we're about to turn these into a project. Some of them have a lot of flash in them from the molds, so I'm going to use my X-Acto knife to clean them up. Then these are going to become magnetic shoes that can snap on in place of her feet. A couple shoes are flawed, like this one, where the plastic didn't fill the mold completely. I'll try cutting these into a different shape and see how they turn out. Since Lillibelle's ankle joint doesn't fit down inside these shoes, I'll need to fill them in. That'll lift the magnets to where they'll make contact with her ankles. So I'll fill each of these with air-dry clay. I'm actually just starting a new challenge I'll be sharing on Instagram, where I'll do a project each day, either one small one or work on a big one, but I can't get any new supplies, so I made this clay myself. I'll wrap Lillibelle's leg in plastic wrap so I can check the clay against it. Then I'll start working on the shoes by pushing pieces of clay down into the shoe, then pushing her ankle magnet down into the clay. It should push in up to the joint. This leaves a little hollow in the clay too, which lets me know where to glue the magnets. The nice thing about the clay is that it's white, so it'll look like socks in most of the shoes, but I can also paint it to match her skin. I used tweezers to scrape off any extra clay. Before the clay dries, I try a few small, lightweight magnets, pushing them down into the clay so they'll be secure once it's dry. The first pair looks pretty good. The magnet is strong enough to hold it on, but it's not super strong, so I'm going to try another option, using a piece of metal. I'll cut this washer into pieces and glue it to the clay in another pair of shoes. Since this clay is already dry, I'll need to use my Dremel to drill a place for these metal bits to sit. Then I'll use hot glue, because I can glue down the metal and then put a little glue on top to seal it. The nicest thing about using the air-dry clay for this is that it shrinks a little, so I can always pry it back out if I decide to try something different with a particular pair of shoes. The metal works really well, but the glue on top is a little too bulky, so I'll need to pull it out and retry later. But this is a great start. But while I'm thinking of hot glue, why not try using the hot glue as a filler? I should have thought of that first. I use low-temp hot glue because that way it won't damage the shoes, and I can pull it out later if needed. Sorry for all the camera bouncing, I really need to make a new overhead mount. Oh yeah, the hot glue shoe looks fantastic, and it sticks amazingly. All I need to do for these is paint the glue inside the shoes so that it looks like you're seeing her foot or a sock. The last thing I'm going to try is actually a set of extra magnets I have for the doll. These are super strong neodymium magnets, the same kind that are used in her feet, so I know these will work perfectly. They're sometimes called rare earth magnets. You've probably seen them at craft stores. I drop one of the magnets so it can attach itself to her ankle, and that way I'll know which way it needs to be glued into the shoe. I mark the bottom of the magnet with a marker so I don't get it confused. Then I'll take a shoe with the hole already drilled in the clay. There's glue in the bottom of the hole, so this is ready to go. I use the end of a paintbrush, something non-magnetic, to push the magnet down into the clay. I think this hole might be a little snug. Oh, the clay broke. Well, no big deal. I'll just squeeze some more glue in there and everything will be fine. No one will see it but me anyway, right? One last thing I want to try is painting the shoes, so I can see what my color options are. Other than red, that is. I use Martha Stewart craft acrylics for this. Partly because I love them, and partly because I used these acrylics on a pair of my own shoes and they've held up amazingly. I glued the shoe onto a stick so that I could turn it and get to every angle. Man, that looks pretty good. So that's definitely an option for all these extra red shoes. And while the end result isn't totally perfect, I think these turned out fantastic for a first try. And this is definitely a better option than getting feet stuck inside tiny shoes. And that's all for today. Thanks for watching. Bye.